Imagine hanging a handmade ornament on your tree that looks like it's been passed down for generations. I'll show you exactly how to make that happen today. Watch as I take a simple blank ornament and turn it into a gorgeous angel masterpiece using decoupage, crackle finish, and gold embossing. The final result will surprise you. Hello, my crafty friends. I'm Donna from Mason Creations, etc. And welcome to my channel. If you're ready, let's make a mess. I'm starting off with this beautiful filigree wooden blank. It comes in 3 pieces. The circle in the center won't be needed, but I'll save it to make another ornament out of it. I'm using the 2 angels in the center of this rice paper sheet. These are the perfect size and fit right in the center circle. I'm removing that picture with a water brush. A water brush has a cartridge that you fill with water and then brush it on the napkin or rice paper. The water dispenses easily, so this is really convenient. You can find this in my description box below, in my favorite tools section, just in case you want to check it out. You always want to tear your rice paper or napkin instead of cutting it. A torn edge is much easier to blend than a sharp cut edge. This and all the products you're going to see me use today came from decoupagenapkins.com, my wonderful sponsors. I'm painting the bottom piece that doesn't have the hole white using Dixie Belle in the color cotton. I'm just painting in the center because that's where I'll be decoupaging that beautiful vintage angel picture. Make sure you always paint white or a very light off-white wherever you're going to decoupage rice paper or a napkin. White allows the colors in your images to look more vibrant. Dark colors will make your images look dark and muddy. I'm painting the top piece using Dixie Belle in the color Magnolia. This color is a really pretty warm white, which is perfect for the vintage theme I'm going for with this ornament. Notice that I'm not painting the outer edge of the wood blank. I have other plans for that. Make sure you stick around to see what I do. It's going to be beautiful. But I did make sure to get the inner circle with the magnolia paint. I made sure to get the picture in the center of the circle exactly where I wanted it, and then put 2 small pieces of painter's tape to hold it in place. I'm using Polyvine Decorator's Varnish as my decoupage adhesive today. You can use this product as a varnish and an adhesive, which is true for all the Polyvine formulas. It works so much better than the most popular brand of decoupage glue. It's not a glue, so it doesn't go on thick and lumpy. It's a varnish, so it dries crystal clear and will never yellow. I'm putting very little under the rice paper. I'm painting most of it just right over top of the paper. It will seep through and adhere it to my piece. Once I had the paper so it wouldn't move, I was able to remove the painter's tape. I'll let this dry for a few hours before moving on. This ornament was requested by so many of my crafty friends last year, and I just ran out of time. Sharon G. from Connecticut wanted to see something heavenly and some embossing. J Designs and Jane G. wanted a vintage angel. Teresa D. and J. Marie wanted to see an angel ornament. Ladies, this video is for you. Everything is dry and it's time to glue the 2 pieces together. I'm using Aleene's Tacky Glue. This is one of my favorites for gluing everything and anything. I used a sponge to spread the glue around. This kept it from going over the edge and getting in between all the filigree cutouts. Decoupagenapkins.com has such a great selection of napkins that you can purchase one at a time. They carry many other craft supplies such as rice paper, paint, clay, molds, and a great selection of Polyvine products. Over 9,000 products and growing. They are wonderful to work with and will send your order out fast. You'll receive free shipping on orders over $75 and special bonus points for orders over $100. Subscribe to their newsletter by entering your email address, and you'll receive 10% off your next order. They are truly your one-stop shop for craft supplies. Make sure you check them out. I'll be leaving links for all the products I use in my description box below, as well as more information on the previously mentioned promotions. please note that any of these promotions are subject to future changes. I'll line up the two pieces and stick them together. I added some clips and let this sit overnight. I'm using Pentart's Fine Line Crackle Varnish to add a beautiful vintage porcelain look to this piece. It's a two-part system and I'm brushing on component number 1. I'll let that dry for about an hour or so until it's clear. Where are you all watching from, my crafty friends? Let me know in the comments. I just love to see what cities and countries all my friends are watching from. I'm filming from sunny Las Vegas, Nevada in the United States. Now that it's dry, I'll brush on component number 2. This step is an amber color. Use thin, even strokes. If you get buildup or drips anywhere, it'll show when dry. I'll let this dry for a couple of hours. Once dry, you'll see the cracks. Have you ever played around with embossing? If not, you'll be amazed at how easy it is. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. And that is where the magic happens. It's going to add a beautiful high-end look to this ornament. Make sure you stick around. You're going to want to see this. I have some amazing cracks now, and I'm going to add some antiquing so you can see them. I'm using Pentart Antique Paste. It's solvent-based, so it's safe to put over the fine line crackle. I'm rubbing it into all the cracks and then wiping it off with a soft, dry cloth. Make sure you do not use a wet wipe. The antique will wipe off the surface of your piece, but stay in all those beautiful cracks. I let the antique paste dry for a couple of hours. Then I gave it a coat of Winsor & Newton clear glossy varnish. This is a solvent-based sealer, so it's safe for the fine line crackle. It's very shiny and gives your piece an aged porcelain appearance. I let this dry for about an hour. Also, please note that you cannot use any water-based varnishes or antiques over the fine line crackle. It will ruin your crackle finish. Since this product is solvent-based, the best way to clean your brush will be with mineral spirits. There's a little area where there's some sheet music on the rice paper. I'm tearing that out and I'm going to put it on the back of the ornament. I like to make the backs of my tree ornaments look nice too. You never know how they're going to lay on the tree when you hang them, and a lot of the time you can see the backs of them. I used my decorator's varnish to decoupage it on the ornament back. I'll let that dry for a couple of hours. I added step 1 of the crackle components and let it dry. Then added step 2 and let that dry. Wait until you see what I'm going to do next. If you like gold, you're going to want to see this. Once dry, I added my antiquing paste and let that dry. Then added the Winsor & Newton sealer. I'm going to add a few highlights to the edges of the ornament using Redesign Decor Wax in the color Eternal. This is just the most beautiful gold. Once it dries, it shines and shimmers like real gold. I'm using my finger to add to all the edges on both the front and back. I also added it to the sides where it was dark and left unpainted. I'm putting a small amount of the rub on my finger and rubbing it together with my thumb. Smearing it around like that prevents a large amount of your product ending up in one place. I test all the products that I recommend in my videos. I won't recommend anything that I haven't used myself and prefer. If I'm recommending it, you can bet it's a great product. Each product will be listed in my description box below and will have a blue link to make it easy for you to find. Any of the links I provide are safe for you to click on. I used a tiny brush to get all the edges in the cutout areas. I did this on the front and the back. This product is also solvent-based, so you'll need to clean your brush with mineral spirits. I'm going to add some ball chain around the interior edge of the cutout circle. This will give a nice line of definition between the two pieces. If you're enjoying this video, please let me know by hitting that like button. And why not share this with a friend? Thanks for doing that. You won't want to miss any of the new projects coming up, so don't forget to subscribe. Here's what you've been waiting for, my crafty friends. Are you ready to do some embossing? This is so fun. You're going to love it. I'm going to use some holiday stamps that I've had in my stash for quite a while. They're sticky on one side and are attached to a clear plastic sheet in the package. I'm removing one and sticking it to a clear piece of plastic made for stamping. This will make the stamp rigid so you get a good stamping from it. I folded and creased a piece of paper to lay my piece on. This will catch all the overage of embossing powder so it can be put back in the little pot. I'm using an embossing ink pad and dabbing it on the bottom of the stamp. You want to be generous with this. I keep dabbing it on there a few times. Then I'll press the stamp onto my piece where I want the image to be. I carefully use a slight rocking motion back and forth, then up and down. Then lift it straight up and off the piece so it doesn't smear. Now I'm going to sprinkle the embossing powder over the spot where I just stamped. It's pretty much invisible, so make note where you put it. I tap my piece to get off the excess powder. I also use a soft, dry brush to remove anything around the stamping, but make sure you don't accidentally touch where you just stamped. If you see any more powder, you can just blow it off. Now here comes the magic. I'm using a heat gun back and forth over the stamping. The heat melts the powder and it will turn shiny and look like real metallic gold. You can actually watch it happening. A blow dryer doesn't work well with this process. It blows too much hot air around and burns your fingers. The heat gun puts just heat in a specific area, which is what you need. Make sure you don't touch where you just put the heat gun until it cools. It turns to a liquid state and will smear. Once cool, it's there for good. I sped up my camera, or this video would have been too long. It takes a little bit longer than what you're seeing. Make sure you heat up that powder until it melts and becomes shiny. I had to be careful when doing the other side of the piece. When I start using the heat gun, it's going to make both sides hot, so it's going to soften what I just did on the other side. Once I start, I won't be able to lay this down completely, and I'll need to hang it to cool. I did all the same steps as I did on the other side. I wanted to get my first Christmas project out in July, but thanks to a malfunction with my camera, I wasn't able to release a video last week. So I'm giving you Christmas in August. I'm going to start sprinkling in my project lineup with a lot of Christmas projects and ornaments from now until Christmas. If you have anything that you'd like to see this year, send me a comment. Even if you don't have a request, send me a comment anyway, just saying hi. I love hearing from all of you, and I love planning projects around your requests. I'm going to use my mini bow dabber tool to make a beautiful bow for this project. There are vertical slits and horizontal slits. Add a thin cord or a small ribbon through the vertical slits. Then you can layer your ribbon back and forth in the horizontal slits, using as many layers of ribbon or as many different types of ribbon that you want to. After you have all your layers of ribbon, pull up the two ends of your small cord in the vertical slits and tie them together. You can then safely lift up your newly made bow. I bring the cord around to the back and tie it in a knot. Now you can add an embellishment to the center of the bow or another tiny bow. I just love this little tool. You can find this in my description box below in my favorite tools section in case you want to check it out. I'm going to add some Christmas foliage to the center of the bows. I clipped some leaves and berries from a larger holiday sprig. I cut all the pieces separately. I started off gluing the berries to the back of the bow. Then I added that little spring-looking thing that I think is so cute. Now I'll add the leaves in the very back. This way the smaller items are in the front and the larger leaves are in the back. I made one for the front and one for the back. Now it's time to glue the bows to the front and back of my ornament. I added a gold cord for a hanger at the top, and now I'll glue one of the bows at the very top right over the bottom of that hanging cord. Now I'll flip it over and add the second bow in the same place on the back of the ornament. I'll clip all the ribbons and the gold cord. Don't forget, all of the wonderful products I'm using today can be found at my favorite place for craft supplies, decoupagenapkins.com, and I'll leave you links in my description box below. And the finishing touch, a gorgeous square emerald stone set in gold for the center of each bow. I've added a link to a video that I think you may enjoy. Click the picture on the right to be taken directly to that video. I'm so happy you were here with me today, and thanks so much for watching. I can't wait to see you all next week. I'm working on a new project with you in mind. You can subscribe by clicking my picture in the top right corner.